What's up, Gorm Frying Pan people? Welcome back to the kitchen. I hope you guys had a good week. This week, I won't be doing one of those sad, sappy, guys. Here's the secrets of the universe. I know because I'm literally 14 years old, and this is deep, and I'm deeply 14. No. Today, I just want to complain about something. A little bit of a screen rant, if you will. There's a show. I'm probably naming the video the name of the show, so I won't even, do any suspense. It's called Steven Universe. Now, if you don't know about Steven Universe, welcome to the internet. Like 10 years ago, Steven Universe absolutely dominated the animation sphere. It was like that and Adventure Time, but what got talked about a lot more and a lot more controversially was Steven Universe for a couple of reasons that I don't really care to get into, but I will talk about why I didn't like it. I didn't like it because it was a bad show. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys have a good week. No, I didn't like it because okay, I'll be entirely honest with you. I did like the first season. Now, if anyone knows anything about, if you've seen Steven Universe, you know that the first season is like the first half of the show. And that's because the first season did something that I really like, which is this sense of balance of both mixing, telling a story, because people inherently want to tell a story. However, those who do not know, stories that go on and actually are impactful and meaningful make a lot less money. So studios, particularly networks like Cartoon Network, don't really want to do that. And so there's this kind of balance that has to be struck of, all right, we're telling a story, but we're also doing it in very small increments where you don't need to watch the last episode to really know what's going on, but it's just accented with a couple episodes being reliant on all of the other episodes, right? And you see this was really popular in the 2010s. It seems like it's kind of backed off because cartoons that are trying to tell a story now just kind of tell a story, and cartoons that are trying to be that monster of the week, silly, goofy, whatever, just do that. But it is something that Steven Universe did, and I don't think it did. Ooh, that was pretty cool. I don't think it did well. I don't think it did well at all, because it was very aimless in its pacing at many times, which I feel like is one of the reasons why people are so celebratory of it now, is because you don't feel the 6-month wait that you have to feel after getting a cliffhanger, which will inevitably lead you nowhere and to another filler episode, right? It was not really done very well, and even whenever there was characters, it was just kind of what, huh? Not in the way of oh wow, this is ridiculous and bad and I hate it, but in the way of this is just really, I don't know what they're trying to say here at different times, because sometimes it feels like they don't know what they're trying to say. The creator of the show, Rebecca Sugar, clearly knew some things that she wanted to do. And she did those pretty well. I mean, the cluster arc was all right. It's so weird to go back and think of the different arcs, because it feels so it's like a Half-Life. Very slow to start off with, but then within the last several seasons, everything is just changing all the time at once, right? And it can be a lot. And honestly, it kind of makes sense, kind of. I don't really blame it entirely, because no doubt there was some studio mess up, everything like that. No doubt, of course. We love corporations, and we love mixing art and money. It always does very well. But it is still a thing that the showrunner needs to keep that in mind, that they might be canceled at any time, just because a show is not really, because they want to tell a longer story, does not mean that they uh, get to be entitled to that time, because having crunch times, having a set understanding of when the show will end can be a good thing. I mean, look at what happens whenever the show won't end. It loses quality very, very badly over time. And that makes sense, because they stop really having that fire, if you will. And sometimes it does very much so feel like people get too obsessed with the show. They're like, oh, this is either the best thing ever or the worst thing ever, simply because it exists, and that's all it needs for me to absolutely love it, or absolutely hate it. And I mean, fair enough. Hate what you want to hate. I myself am quite a hater, as you could tell from this video. But no, Steven's just kind of annoying. Pearl is kind of naggy. Garnet's cool. Amethyst is cool. Peridot is awesome. Lapis Lazuli or Lazuli is awesome. But like, most of the characters that are the most interesting and like have become good, whenever someone becomes a good person, Rebecca Sugar doesn't really know what to do with them, it seems, because obviously it's, no one's a perfect person. Whenever somebody gets better, or whenever their, inherent character flaw gets resolved, then they're kind of shoved off to the side, which would be more fine if they didn't also heavily struggle with filler episodes about characters we don't care about. We don't care about it. It was like, it seems silly, and it seems like I'm probably being like, you're probably think I'm over exaggerating. No, there were so many filler episodes about characters we do not care about, and I know the only reason why you like Peridot or Lapis Lazuli is because like they're not shown up very frequently, and okay. First of all, no, Lapis Lazuli is just a cool character that is like, who's never going to really be resolved. That's the thing. Her character arc will never really be resolved. Same with Peridot or any character ever, because we're never ever actually just okay. We're never done. We're never just fixed, right? That's not something that happens. And so it feels kind of lazy whenever people are like, oh, well, no, now their character arc has been concluded, and now they're not really doing that anymore. They're not the main stage because they don't, like, they've been resolved or whatever. That's always a lazy excuse, because we're never entirely fixed. We can have like, okay, this is our core issue, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool, whatever. I don't even, that feels lazy. It feels lazy, especially whenever it can have some pretty cool animation, and generally some cool songs. I'll be the first to admit, I've jammed to some of their songs. Back in the day, I don't really do it anymore, but like back in the day, Stronger Than You. The Undertale parody. The Undertale parody of Stronger Than You actually has like 4 times the amount of views. It has like 80 million views, and the actual song from Cartoon Network only has 20 million. Not that that's not a lot, but still, my gosh. Yeah. So, I'm gonna... I have something else to state, and it's kind of about Steven Universe. I don't like Steven Universe, obviously. But despite that, it is something that I spent hours last night just watching clips of Steven Universe. And now you might think that, oh, okay, well, like, you don't have to like something to watch things about it. You can hate watch something. Yeah, no. I wasn't supposed to do that, to put it simply. I definitely wasn't supposed to do it for as long as I was. And I know I said that I wasn't going to be, doing a, oh, woe is me story. And so I won't. Because I realize that I do that a lot. I think I think I play victim. I am probably one of the most narcissistic, selfish, and manipulative people that I know. And that I don't think I've really been thinking about. I don't know. I don't think I've really been addressing that, and it is a. You have to keep that in mind whenever I make these videos. I do think I'm a pretty big narcissist, and it's not necessarily that I don't think I'm a bad person, but I am the type of person to promise something and not be able to live up to it, and instead be so selfish and so I'm not only selfish, I'm manipulative because I'm able to manipulate others into believing in me, and I am able to somehow, some way, I am able to manipulate myself into believing me, which is far and away the most impressive thing I could do. It's like in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe from Narnia. No, this isn't The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. This is actually the one before it. Now, I haven't read Lion, the Witch, I haven't read Narnia since elementary school. This was just a stupid play. Yeah, it's dumb. I haven't read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in forever, but that's actually not the first book in Narnia. The first book in Narnia is about how Narnia exists in the first place. And there's like an old guy, I don't remember why or like who he is or whatever, but he's definitely an old guy, and he's like cursed by the witch to not be able to. Why am I bringing this up? Wait, what? Why am I bringing this up? What am I talking about? Genuinely, what am I talking about? Why am I talking about Narnia? I know what I was about to say, but why was I about to say? I was going to talk about how, like, whenever he's standing. Oh, wait, no, that's not what I was going to talk about. This guy gaslit himself into believing that a talking lion wasn't real. I got it. He genuinely he went to Narnia, saw the lion talking to him, and then was like, no, I didn't. And he did that so hard, he genuinely did not see the guy talking to him. So it is, it is possible. But getting more back into Steven Universe, despite how much I hate it. Hate is definitely a strong word, but despite how much I like to rag on it. Steven Universe, I saw a clip, and all of that time, the time that I spent, I wasted watching 5 minutes at a time. By the way, that's how we lose our life. Watch this play. This is amazing. We love ragdolls. But 5 minutes at a time, I was able to successfully waste my time very efficiently, and it. One of the clips of it, I think, was from the newer series, Steven Universe Future, which I have no idea what that is. Don't ask me for even a second what that is. I don't know. But you're not gonna know. Yeah. He talked about feeling like a fraud, that like people would support him no matter what, and he's not nearly as great as anyone thinks him out to be because he just doesn't let them see the issues, and yeah, because I mean, like, I know it's integrity and it's honesty and stuff like that, and I feel like I'm pretty honest despite it, but I know that if people really knew how bad I was, no one would listen to me for even a second. So, Yeah. Interesting ending, but still don't like Steven Universe. Hope you guys have a good week, and I'll see you guys next week.